Right, Maggie? At the beginning of this year, there were a lot of bad news circling around, right? Like economic recession and then layoffs in tech companies and such and such. Well, a lot of them happened, but there's one thing that didn't happen is the crash in real estate market. At the beginning of this year, a lot of people think that the housing market will decrease at least by 10 to 15%. However, according to the MLS data that we have today, there was a 5 to 10% increase for the last 12 months. So the median sold price in King County actually increased by 7.1%, while the average price per square feet increased by 10.3%. And if we actually look at different locations, in the city of Seattle, the median home price rose by 4.1%, and then average price per square feet by 5.1%. On the east side, like Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland, Mercer Island area, the median home prices increased by 6.3%, and the average price per square feet by 9.4%. And then on the north side, like Bothell, Linwood area, the median home prices increased by 10.1%, and then average price per square feet by 9.7%. On the south side of Seattle, like Renton, Kent, Beacon Hill, median price rose by 6%, and the average square footage price by 6.4%. This surprising growth in the housing market actually shocks me. I think what really happened was because the number of listings and the homes on the market has decreased by 30%. And that actually leads to a very, very tight market. There are still a lot of people who are buying, right? So the competition is actually quite fierce, especially now under like 1.5 million for single families on the east side. So what will happen in 2024 though? I recently read an article. It's about bond king Jeff Gonlach. He was talking about there is going to be an economic recession in 2024. Well, a lot of people think that when there is an economic recession, that will lead to the crash in the housing market, or at least a decrease of prices in the housing market. Well, it's actually not that straightforward. There are a lot of factors that will affect how the housing market reacts when the economic recession happens, such as the reason for recession, right? For example, in 2008 and 2009, the direct cause of the recession was housing market, right? So of course, the prices will be affected a lot. But, if it's for some other reasons, it might not be the case. And then also how the government and central bank reacts when the economic slows down. A lot of times they will choose to lower the interest rate, which will actually help the real estate market to recover. And also, of course, how the existing housing market is like before the recession happens. It's just very complex. If we plot the historical housing prices with the economic recessions, you can actually see that during the economic recessions, the housing prices sometimes fell, but also sometimes rose. So let's look at the 2024 forecast released by those institutes like Fannie Mae, MBA, NAR, and Zillow. So basically, all the institutes has a forecast of a slight increase of housing prices in 2024. The average is around 1.5%. Zillow actually expects a 3.9% increase for Seattle's local market for the coming 12 months. And for me, I actually want to look at these forecasts from three perspectives, right? The population growth and income growth, and then the market supply, and then the interest rate. Let's look at the population first. Between 2010 and 2020, the population in Seattle metropolitan area has grown by 6.8%. The average US growth is 7.4%, so it far exceeds that. Although in the past 3 years, the increase of the population actually slows down, but still every year we have like around 1% growth. And according to the data, in the past 12 months, the income level in Seattle area also increased by 5%. Secondly, let's look at the market supply. I think market supply is the main factor that has driven the high growth of Seattle housing market, and is one of the main reasons why the price has been so high. So if the interest rate doesn't change, I think this is a problem that is hard to be solved, because a lot of sellers actually bought their homes 3-4 years ago at the interest rate of 2 to 3%. Nobody wants to sell their home in exchange of a 7% interest rate with a, much higher price home. But if the interest rate does go down, I think it will gradually get better. And I was actually talking to one of the biggest builders in Seattle area, and their main focus area is Bellevue. And I actually asked him whether they will have a lot of new homes coming to the market next year. And he said no, because, the land is too expensive in this area. So they are considering, Seattle or Boston area maybe. But it's just during the pandemic, the cost for labor and then construction and then land has led to what we are facing today. Basically a very slow construction of new construction. And then because of the interest rate, we don't have a lot of second homes coming to the market. Last but not least, let's talk about mortgage interest. So I mentioned earlier that Jeff Gundlach actually predicts a economic recession in 2024. And that will probably lead to the central bank or the government to lower the interest rate in order to boost the economy. So if that happens, I think that will help with the real estate market to actually go up. And also the Dutch international group, ING, mentioned that if there is a 2024 economic recession in the US, the central bank will have to lower the interest rate as many as 6 times next year. Well, although it's all a prediction, it's hard to say what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure that with the current situation in Seattle area, if the interest rate actually goes down, we will see a definite boost in real estate market. I know this is probably not everybody wants to hear, right? A lot of buyers, my own clients, they're actually sit there waiting for the market to jobs or waiting for more homes to come to the market. I completely understand. But, my job is to let you know what is going on in the market right now and what the institutes are saying about the 2024 forecasts. But remember, real estate is a medium to long-term investment, especially in the US. To buy and to sell a home is expensive. So you should focus on the long-term appreciation and cash flow. You shouldn't think too much about the best timing to move forward. There's no best timing. The best timing is the right time for you. Okay, this is the end of the video. If you like what you saw and if you're interested to know more about Seattle real estate market, don't forget to subscribe my channel so that you don't miss the new videos. I'm Maggie. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time.